Hey, some time ago, a while back, I made a video, and in it, I was out in the dungeon, out in the garage, and in it I mentioned that, maybe I got a little sappy, but I mentioned that we're all connected, that even, these knuckleheads or perceived knuckleheads that you see sometimes, I try to stop and consider that we're all connected, and that I actually said, that fucking knucklehead is actually my brother, but I don't always feel like that. That's fewer moments of that extent of enlightenment. That's not really the majority most of the time how I feel, but I try to feel like that. If I could feel like that all the time, I think I'd be a lot better person. Anyway, somebody commented back then that yeah, it's all fine and well, but don't I understand or whatever that people are going to take my kindness for weakness. And you know, I give that comment the credence that it's somebody's opinion. They expressed it, took the time out to watch the video and express it, which I appreciate. And I agree with that. Sure they will. There will be instances of that. But people who take your kindness for weakness, if you're truly strong or you want to develop that inner strength, right? Not just this. I mean, anybody can develop this. This part's easy, right? Relatively. You lift the weights, you eat the food, you go to bed at night and sleep, and you build muscle, and you get stronger. But if you want to develop inner strength, you have to keep picking yourself up and dusting yourself off and keep getting on with things. And the more you do that, the easier it gets to get up and dust yourself off. It becomes like trivial matter. So what I mean by that is that, yeah, there are going to be people that are going to take your kindness for weakness. It's a given in this society, especially nowadays. But that shouldn't stop you from interacting and still being involved in the world and with your fellow human beings in a positive way. That shouldn't stop you from still wanting to be the best person that you can be, the best version of you that you can be. And if that means that you're going to put yourself out there, I mean, are you really putting yourself out that far? Not really. Small thing to a giant. And if somebody mistakes your kindness for weakness, happens on different levels. Happens to me sometimes. Happened to me a few weeks ago. I was at work, and I work in like a kind of a, well, no question, no kind. I work borderline sort of between city and inner city. I'm kind of on the border between there. And now the reason I go there and I work there is because it's a real comfortable place for me to be. I like the people I work with, and the owner of the business is a friend of mine. I have a lot of respect for, and I like him. I've known him a long time. So it's comfortable. And the other thing is where I live out here. I love it out here, but cost of living is pretty inexpensive out here. So in return for that, you don't make the same sort of wage that you make someplace with a more enhanced cost of living. So a lot of people in these parts will commute and go a little distance to go to work because they're going to make more money than they bring their money back here, and it makes it all that much easier to make ends meet, pay your bills, and do what you need to do. So that's why that I'm there, because it's a drive and traffic's hectic, and just like everybody else, I don't like traffic. It's irritating as hell sometimes when I get caught up in it. But so I'm down there, and I happen to be sitting in the office, and this guy comes in, and he's wearing kind of a earth tone type of suit, like a brownish, drab olive type of suit, older suit, nothing really fancy, kind of like a wool suit. And there's a church, a huge, historic, big stone church, catty corner across from where we're at, across the street. And the guy comes in and he says, and I know they have kids out there, they have a daycare, they, a lot of stuff like that, because I see that going on from where I'm at. And he comes in and he just says to the person at the counter, which isn't me, but I'm sitting behind that person. And he says, I'm the reverend or pastor or minister, however he put it, from the church across the street there, and I hate to ask you this, but our bus broke down, and it's full of children for our daycare. And for whatever reason, the tow truck driver, he gave more of a detailed explanation, but it's not relevant. Said the tow truck driver can't take, or it won't take the church credit card, so have to pay in cash, and I'm $20 short, and I just need $20, so I got to get these kids, get this bus out of here. Whatever it was, I wasn't paying attention to every single word. I got the overall gist of it, and when he stopped when he finished his plea or request or whatever, there was a moment of silence, and then I just spoke up and said, you know what, I got $20. And I pulled $20 out of my wallet and gave it to him, and he was, thank you very much, God bless you, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, God bless you, brother. Good luck. He said, I'll bring it right back, I'll get it right back over to you. And he took $20 and left. And somebody commented right then, after the guy had left, I was going to give him $20 too. I would have given him to him if you hadn't, but, we don't even know if he's from the church over there or not. I mean, what if he's not? And I said, well, if he's not, and he takes my money and I don't get it back, that's on him, spiritually, as far as from an enlightenment perspective. That's on him. That's not on me. I gave the $20 out of, I was compelled by the story, and I was compelled by all that it embodied and entailed. And in a situation like that, I could help and it wouldn't hurt me, so I thought I was helping. Well, fast forward several weeks later, and you know what? I never got that $20 back. I never saw the guy again, and I've never seen any buses over there. I'm not even aware that they even have a bus. I don't even believe that they do. So he got me for $20. And if he goes around to enough places, locations that are across from churches, he probably can make a few bucks that way if that's his intent. So he got me for $20. But then on the other hand, when I'm out someplace, especially if I happen to have some money with me, and I come to a red light or something, like around here particularly, because around here we don't have a lot of panhandlers, and I don't know if that's a probably disrespectful term, but I don't know what other term to use to get it across. We don't have these panhandlers really around here. So when you see somebody on a corner at a confluence, where traffic's coming up to a red light, and around these parts, and the guy standing there with a sign, please help homeless, hungry, or something like this, I'm going to help. I'm not going to just sit there and look forward, not look at the guy or whatever it may be. I'm going to help if it's not hurting me a bit, right? So I'll give the guy a $10 bill or $5 bill, whatever I happen to have handy, something like that. Basically 100% of the time I'll do it. Now, if I'm in the city or something, I'm not going to go out of my way. If there's locations and corners, which there are, where there are always people, various people and stuff, you can't save the whole fucking world. But you know what? You're one person, and if you can help one person, if everybody in the world did that, I think it'd be a lot better place. So yeah, there's, people will say, I don't know what they're going to do with that money. Maybe he's got a problem. He's going to go buy booze with it or drugs or something. I don't know that, and it's not even my business. If I give the guy, the person, or sometimes there's whole fucking families sometimes, especially towards a city. Sometimes I'll see whole families of either immigrants or, it's a lot of times it's immigrants. I'll see whole families out there with children, under an umbrella or whatever on a hot day, or maybe even in the rain, and, they need help. And I'll give them some money. You know why? Because if I do that, if 5 times I do that, let's say that the world's even worse than it is, which I don't know if it is or not, and I know it's bad, but let's just say I do that 5 times, and 3 of those times, they're just laughing when I pull away, and they're taking my money, thinking, another sucker, That's okay, because 2 of those times I've actually connected with someone that I could actually help. Just very small gesture, very small thing on my behalf, right? Then I can go back to my life and my TV, and well, for me it's my garden and all these other things that I do. But just figuring it's just so little to actually give of yourself. if it really benefits, if it truly can benefit somebody. I mean, just think, I don't know what it's like to really be hungry like that. I really don't. Now, if I was starving like that, I was really hungry, and I was to that point where I was out of resources completely and out of ideas, and I've never been in that position. I can't imagine being in that position, but if I were in that position, I try to think, what would it be like, And I'm thinking if $5 or $10 or something can mean anything to that person, if they're sincere and it's true, credible, their position, if that's real, then that $5 or $10 is going to do a hell of a lot more for them than it could ever do for me. So yeah, and people are going to take your kindness for weakness, but if you're truly strong inside, and I'm not saying I am, I'm not saying nobody else isn't, or somebody else isn't, but if you really are, then it seems to me it's a very small thing. It's a small injury, isn't it? If it's even any kind of an injury at all. Yeah. To me, it's worth the risk and the balance. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't always turn out well. There's been situations where, I haven't been somewhere in a long time, and I go back to work there, and there may be a new person or two there that doesn't know me, and for whatever reason, another grown man that's near my age should have enough life experience that they should be able to pick up off the vibe that that I don't have to be a really nice, kind, considerate, compassionate person, that I'm capable of being something worse, but I choose not to be that. That's nothing to aspire to be, right? So I don't get credit for not being a bastard, right? But you would think that people would leave you alone. That if I choose to be quiet and seemingly, to myself and somewhat introverted and mind my own business and just go to work every day to do my job and keep my mouth shut and just do what I got to do, right, to subsidize my existence here. Afterwards, everybody's got their life, everybody's got a life out there, and it's their personal life that they choose to share with somebody or people, or they do not. Whatever, it's their life, or maybe you don't care what their life is, you got your own life. So, as it may be, every man and woman should be able to move through the world and do the things they need to do unencumbered, as long as they're not doing anything harmful to other people or whatever. But there are people out there that have whatever their ailment is inside of themselves, whatever their defect is, or that they've been injured somewhere along the line or whatever, most likely. And what they've done with that is, instead of internalizing it and rationalizing it, growing from it, they've actually taken it and allowed it to mold them or twist them into something worse, or a worse example of what they could be. And they, like this in particular instance to which I'm referring, clearly the guy has some self-esteem issues or whatever, where he wants to have exercise some sort of control or authority over another man, and it makes him feel better about himself or whatever, supposedly. Well, that's that person's defect. I don't suffer from that, but this particular person did, and big guy, overweight guy, and he, I guess, couldn't recognize, or did not failed to recognize, what I actually potentially could very easily be. And so, rather than appreciate my right to just come to work and do what I'm supposed to do, and yes sir, no sir, and just be a quiet person, and that's my right, he decided to test the water and see. He could push me a little bit. It seems ridiculous to me, right? But see if he could maybe push me a little bit, because maybe I just look like this and it's all just fucking, image. It's all fake, right? It's all just a put-up show, that inside I'm just a marshmallow. Which maybe I might be. I might be a real soft, mellow, timid guy, which fucking, that's nothing wrong with that. I wish the fuck I could live like that, and wish the world would let me live like that. But there's a reason I look like this. There's a reason my hands look like this. because unfortunately I will meet force with force. I will meet violence with greater violence. And it's not anything to be proud of. It's nothing to brag about. It doesn't make you more than someone else. It makes you less. It's my own personal issue. A lot of people have these issues. I know there are people out there that can relate to this. But it's something I've struggled with and have it well under control. But this guy, he couldn't leave it at that. He decides he's going to go out of his way to try and subjugate me. So finally I just had enough. And I just kind of snapped a little bit. And I got everybody there at that whole business together. Drug them all out into an open communal space where no clients or anybody were around to hear it, and confronted them in front of everybody. Let's lay it right out there. Let's get it out there. And made it very clear that, you know, you have greatly misjudged me, but you got me where you were trying to get me. I'm at that point now, and now, you know, we're going to settle this right now. So I'm more than willing right this minute to give you what it seems to me that you're looking for, which I think is fucking crazy on your behalf, but I'm more than willing to give it to you. So let's get to it, so we can put it down and move on, move forward. And plus I was pissed off, very fucking pissed off. You know, that some motherfucker couldn't just let me be who the fuck I would prefer to be. You know, couldn't just let me be just a cooperative, quiet, mellow fucking dude, right? Couldn't. Just had to poke and prod and find out if really, you know, there's something else under there that might come out, which is just stupid. Fucking stupid. And it did. Very clear, you know, and you know, when you go so far, you start to shake and stuff, then there's like no turning back. That fight or flight thing clicks over to fight. And, you know, the best among us might lose control. But he didn't want much to do with that. And that's a good thing for both of us. So got it across, made it clear, but I was still fucking pissed off about it because I had to do that. Why do you want me to have to do that? Why do you need to see that? Why do you want to, why? And it pisses me off even twice a bit, because I figure if truly I am just a quiet, timid, peaceful, withdrawn guy that doesn't have that in him, doesn't have that actual ability to be some fucking kind of, you know, just fucking nasty, you know, aggressive fucking creature. If I don't have that, then what? This type of person just is going to go ahead and just beat me down as far as just mentally and spiritually and just psychologically just wants to just fucking bully me. And I don't have any fucking respect for bullies. None. I'm not saying anybody in particular needs to have my respect, but I have no respect for that kind of behavior. So it made me mad on like 2 or 3 different fronts at the same time. And, you know, it really pissed me off another way, because it had taken me a long time to get to that spot, to get to where I was enjoying living like that. I was just happy to be that. But you know what? The most saddest part of it is sometimes the fucking world won't let you just be that. They just won't let you be. They got to find out. And you know what? It's times like that I feel like a person like that, they deserve to find out then. They deserve to see what's behind that door. Anyway, after that was done, we moved on from there, and believe it or not, we actually became very good friends. You know, eventually. Took a while. I was a little hard on him after that, because you already got me there now. You know, I can't just turn a switch and go back to the other guy. You know, you made me go into this, and now this is where I'm at, and I'm pissed off about it for a good while. You know, because I'm trying to maintain my chill, right? You're fucking working on my cool. I'm trying to maintain. It's a better way to be. It's a more balanced way to be. So yeah, there are people out there that are going to take your kindness for weakness. It's the chance that you're going to take. But you know what? You got the broad shoulders to carry the weight. You know, right? Clear your plate and lift your weight. So you got to lift that weight. You got to carry that fucking weight. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. You know why somebody's got to do it? Because there's still got to be people out there that appreciate principles and morals and values like that. And, you know, like I said, you may be weak in some areas. Others of us are stronger in other areas. But together, that just makes us stronger and better, right? But first, we got to get together. And there's no communication, and there's no commonality or recognition that we're all in this fucking boat together. We're all fucking, you know, crabs or lobsters in the same fucking steaming pot. All of us. We're all going to the same place. We're all going in the fucking ground, or maybe you're going to get cremated, but you know what? All of this, in the end, is for nothing if you don't seize the opportunity to celebrate all the positive aspects and all of the opportunities that arise for you to make a real difference. This doesn't make any fucking difference in the world. It makes no motherfucking difference. But you can make a difference. So yeah, people will take your kindness for weakness. It's just part of it, that's all. Doesn't mean you don't be kind. Doesn't mean that being kind is not the better way to be. You know, so if you're truly strong, it's a small thing. And yeah, agreed, some people are going to take it too far. It's a chance you take, and you're hopefully going to learn from it and bounce back, and maybe the next time you'll be able to endure more before you actually go out of your lane. You know what I mean? So anyway, just something to think about. Agree or disagree. You're free to feel however you want. Your point's as valid as the next man. You're just as entitled to it. So have a great day. I'll try and get something else up later, but it's time for me to do some labor around this place.